Hello everyone, so welcome to my sixth lecture on the playlist of multiple integration, and today we will see that how double integration helps us to find the area of the region. Now you have already seen that single integration helps you to give the area under the region, right? If you have a function over one variable and this is the graph of some function over the interval say a to b, then if I integrate this function, what do I get? I get area under the region and above the interval. That's what the job of single integration is. But many times we will see that even double integration helps us to find the area of the region. And how does double integration help us? So the formula is okay. So before giving you the formula directly, let's try to derive the formula. Okay, so that's the good way to approach. For that you need to recall my first lecture on multiple integration. Now if you recall, what was my double integration of a function dA over some region R? If you recall, this is nothing but this is limit n going to infinity lower Riemann sum of a function. This is also equal to limit n going to infinity upper Riemann sum of a function for the given partition P. And when both the things are equal, then there is a theorem: you take any Riemann sum, you take any partition, you take any Riemann sum, and you take the limit, all will give you the same answer. So when the function is integrable function, all these things are same. Okay, so and many times, and our domain is what? It's closed and bounded domain, and we will assume many times that our function is continuous function. Okay, so I mean just the things becomes easy with that. Okay, now if I go into more detail, now what was the first lecture? It was the lecture when we considered the rectangular region, and what did we do? We divided the domain into further sub-rectangles, right? And we gave the notation like this was my A11, this was my A12 up to so on. This was my A21, this was A22 and so on, right? This is how we gave the notation, the areas of the sub-rectangles. I mean these are the rectangles, and what was this? This is nothing but you take limit n going to infinity. It was you take the summation, right? What you were doing, you are taking area of Aij into you are multiplying with the height, right? So for the lower sum, you look for the point where function is taking the minimum value. Everywhere you do the same thing. For upper sum, you look for the point where function is taking the maximum value, and then you do the multiplication, you get the upper sum. And for arbitrary Riemann sum, you take any point and you look at the functional value, multiply with the area, you get Riemann sum, and then you take the limit. Okay, so let me call this point, whatever point, as say xi comma yj, right? So this is x1 y1. Here I am taking the point x1 y2. Here I am taking the point x1 y3 and so on. Okay, just as to write in a nice way, where I is going from 1 to n and your j is also going from 1 to n. Okay, now here if you observe, if I take my function to be a very nice function, if I take my function to be a constant function 1, then what will happen? This will go away, right? Because everywhere function is taking the constant value 1. So you will get, so you are ultimately summing up the area. You are ultimately summing up the area. So when I do the addition of these areas, when I add all the areas of the sub-rectangles, what is this quantity? This is nothing but the area of rectangle, which is nothing but a number, and when you take the limit, what you get? You actually get the area of the region R. What is my region R? In this case, this is my region R, the rectangle. So when I am summing up, when I am taking the function to be 1, constant function 1, and in that case, my double integration, it gives me nothing but the area of the rectangle, and therefore double integration over the region R, 1, because function is 1, into dA. So this is the formula that you will always see in any standard book. Area is nothing but double integration of a function 1. But this was true for a rectangular region. Is this also true for the arbitrary region? So if I don't take a rectangle and if I take any arbitrary region, still this is true? Answer is yes. Because suppose if this is my arbitrary region, what is the first thing you do? You divide into partition. You take a partition, you divide into sub-rectangles. Once you divide into sub-rectangles, now you take the area of the rectangle. So here, this is my A11, this is my A12, this is my A13 and so on. But again, when you add up everything, because when I am taking function to be 1, I am ultimately adding up the areas of the rectangle. but then again here I am getting this much part as the extra area. This is the extra area I am getting. But what is double integration? It is limit n going to infinity. That means what? You further divide into subrectangles. When you further divide this into subrectangles, now in this case I am getting this as the area of the rectangle. This as the area of the rectangles. And now as you can see, this, when I am adding up everything, the previous sum was much bigger than this sum of rectangles. And when I further do the subpartition, I again get smaller rectangles. So once you keep on doing the partition, you get smaller rectangles, and ultimately all these rectangles are converged towards the region itself. So therefore, when I take limit n going to infinity, when your sum of the rectangles or the sum of the areas of the rectangles is equal to the area of the region. So this formula is true for rectangular domain as well as for the arbitrary domain. Okay, so that's one thing, but one should observe this. When you take n going to infinity, the rectangles become smaller and smaller, and these rectangles are approaching towards they will ultimately cover the region, and that's how you find the area. Okay, now let's take some examples. Okay, now let's take this example. Your job is to find area of the region which is bounded by these three curves, and it is in the first quadrant. You want to find the area. So first thing is what? You sketch the region. So you know what is y equal to ln x. This is your y equal to ln x. What is your y equal to 2 ln x? 2 means it will lie above this. Okay, so this will go like this, above this. And x equal to e, suppose this is my x equal to e line. This is y equal to ln x, and this is y equal to 2 ln x. And I want to find this region, area of this region. Now since you want to find area of this region, you can go by two ways. Either you can go by single integration, that is my step 1. If you want to go by single integration, what you do? This is my 1, so you take x from 1 to e and you find area of the region which is below y equal to 2 ln x. So you find this whole area 2 ln of x dx minus you subtract with x from 1 to e ln x dx. So if you go by single integration, you actually substitute the value of the function. So your integrand is the function when you go by single integration, and when you do the subtraction, you get this area. But if I want to go by double integration, how will I do? Double integration 1 times dA. Now you can choose any order. Let me choose dy dx. Why any order? Thanks to Fubini. All my functions are continuous function. You can, by Fubini's theorem, you can choose any order. Now here, if I am choosing dy first, to find the limits of y, what you do? You draw the line parallel to y-axis, and you see from which point your line is entering the domain and from which point your line is leaving the domain. So here y is entering from ln x and it is leaving from 2 ln x. And when you project this on x-axis, what you get? X is going from 1 to e. Right? And now when you solve the first integration, if you observe carefully, when I do the first integration, I get this step. So it's kind of, you can say, you take out this integration common and then you apply this also as the limit. So like they both are the same thing actually. And what is this? When I do the integration 1 to e, 2 ln x minus ln x, which is nothing but ln x dx. And what is integration of ln x? You apply u into v rule, ln x into 1. So this is nothing but x ln x minus 1, right? This is x ln x minus 1, and x will go from 1 to e. And now when you solve this, you get e minus 1 minus ln of 1 is 0, 0 minus 1. So if my calculations are correct, answer is E. So that's how you find area using double integration. Whatever the curves are given to you, you simply take the function to be 1 and then you do your normal integration. Okay, now let me give you some homework problem for your practice. So these are the homework problems. Your job is to tell me the area bounded by this curve, and for the second one, area bounded by this curves. So comment your answer in the comment section, and if you understood this lecture, please do not forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you.